Hey guys, it's Friday morning and it's a little bit chilly outside here. And I'm going to do a Vinyasa yoga flow. So if you want to join me, I'm going to start in a child's pose. So your forehead is going to touch the ground and you're going to be intentional about your purpose for today. Start your day out with gratitude and just intending to focus on what your purpose is for this Vinyasa flow. So if you want your purpose to focus on just the present moment or just whatever is in your mind to clear your mind, you can do that. So while you're here, focus on your breathing. Focus on breathing in and letting it out. Breathing in, holding it at the top, and then releasing. And while you're practicing on your breathing, when you think of releasing your air, think of releasing any negativity or stressors that are affecting you right in this moment so you can focus on the here and now. And then breathe in, hold it at the top, release out your mouth. Breathe in, hold it at the top, and then release out your mouth. And then we're going to start in some cat and cows. But if you still want to stay in the grounded position just to connect with the earth, feel free. A lot of times it's challenging to get in the present moment. So starting your day with gratitude often helps. There's gratitude journals that can help with that. And so after the cat and cows, I'm going to lift my left leg out, my right leg out in front, and I'm going to hold it here. I think today it's only in the 70s, which is very unusual since it is almost June here in North Carolina. But I should be able to get warmed up here. So then I'm going to connect my left foot to my right hand in the back, and I'm going to hold it here and then release. Then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to stretch my left arm out in front, my right arm out and back. I'm going to hold here. Then I'm going to pull it out to the side, and I'm going to hold. And then I'm going to grab it behind and hold here for a moment. And then I'm going to release. Then I'm going to stick my left foot out. I'm going to tuck in a few times. Ten on each side. 1, 2. And then back down. From here, we're going to go to our first downward dog. So you're going to lift your legs up and then feel the stretch in your back. And then just get grounded and see how your body is feeling this morning. Now, I'm going to walk my hands to the back of the mat. I'm going to do a half lift, forward fold, stand tall, side bend to the right, center, side bend to the left, and then mini back bend, forward fold, and twist to the right, and then twist to the left. And then we're going to walk it out just to hold it here in a high plank. Just feel your abs waking up, your upper back, and then a vinyasa. And then back to a downward dog. And then we're going to go back and do those side bends. So you're going to walk your hands back to the back of your mat, half lift, forward fold, stand tall. And then you can do a different version of the side bend or the same one if you want. Just stretching out your sides. And then I'm going to clasp my hands behind my back to do the mini back bend. Forward fold, and then twist to the right, gaze follows. Twist to the left, gaze follows. And then walk it out into a high plank to hold for a moment. And then a vinyasa. And then back to a downward dog. So from downward dog, I am going to lift my right leg high. I'm going to step it through to a crescent lunge. So your hands are lifted overhead, gaze follows. And then I'm going to twist to the right. Gaze follows to my right hand. And then I'm just going to do a few dips in this position. And then I'm going to go back toward crescent lunge. And then I'm going to do a pyramid pose where I'm going to bend over my straight right leg. And my head is going to be forward. And it's going to stretch out the back of that right thigh. And then I'm going to go into a half moon. Right hand plants, left hand up toward the sky with your left foot. Gaze follows towards your left hand. And then from here, I'm going to twist my left foot over my right leg. I'm going to twist my hands to the inside of my left foot, temple dancer. And then I'm going to reach for my left foot, grab it, and extend it out to the left, Padagustasana B. And of course, if you fall out or want to do a modification in any of those poses, feel free to do that. This can be hard, and every day your balance can be different. And then back down to a vinyasa. And then back to downward dog. We're going to do these same poses on the left. So we're going to lift our left leg high, crescent lunge, arms lifted overhead, your left knee is bent in front, and then twist to the left. Gaze follows toward your left hand, and then do those dips. And then back towards center, pyramid pose. Feel the stretch in the back of your left thigh. And then half moon, left hand down, right hand toward the sky, right foot toward the sky, gaze follows. And then I'm going to twist my right foot over my left thigh. And then twist to the left, temple dancer. And then I'm going to grab my right foot, reach it out to the side, Padagustasana B. Of course, if you fall out just like in life, just jump right back in, do a modification, or just any pose, because yoga is about following what your body needs and your breath work. And then back to a vinyasa. So you should be feeling pretty warmed up by now. I know I am. I'm going to walk my hands to the back of the mat, and I'm going to go into a chair pose. So for chair pose, you're going to stick your arms out in front of you. Gaze follows straight ahead, and you're just going to hold it here to warm up your inner thighs and sit here. Make sure your tailbone is tucked under. Gaze follows straight ahead. Then we're going to twist our right arm behind us. Gaze follows. Back towards center. Keep low in the chair. Left hand behind. Gaze follows. Back towards center. Stand tall. Forward fold. Half lift. And then vinyasa. Now you can always leave the vinyasas out. You don't have to do them. And you can do a modification or just skip them all together and go to downward dog. A lot of times I do that. So back at downward dog. This time we're going to lift our right leg high, and I'm going to tuck it underneath my left side for fallen star. Lift my left hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And then I'm going to put my left hand down, lift my right leg high, step it through. This time I'm going to do a warrior one. And then I'm going to put my right side arm on my right bent leg, lift my left hand overhead, gaze follows toward your wrist like a swim stroke. And I'm going to hold it here for a moment. Then I'm going to try to clasp my hands underneath my low back. Gaze follows up toward the sky. And then from here, I'm going to tuck my hands down and do a runner's lunge. So basically your hands, both hands are down, your right leg is bent, and you're really stretching out this inner thigh area. And then from here, you're going to stand up on your right leg, reach your left leg out in front, and twist your left hand behind. Gaze follows towards your left hand. And then into a standing split where you put both your hands down. The closer your hands are to your feet, the taller your left leg will go behind. And then Vinyasa. And I'm going to skip it this time. So on the left side, lift your left leg up. Stick it through fallen star. And then the left leg up. And then warrior one. And then side angle. Lift your right arm overhead. Your left arm is bent on your left knee. And really feel it. And then try to clasp your hands underneath for this little back bend stretch. And then we're going to put our hands in between our left foot and do the runner's lunge to feel the stretch in our inner thigh. And sometimes one side can be worse than the other. And then we're going to stand up from here. I'm trying to remember what the next step was. I want to say it was standing split, but I feel like there was... so we're going to lift our left foot down, grab with our left hand our right foot, and twist our right hand behind. Gaze follows toward your right hand, and then standing split. Remember, the closer your hands are to your foot, the taller your right leg will go. And then Vinyasa. And then from here, you're going to walk your hands back to the back of your mat to do a chair pose. We're going to hold it here for a moment. We're going to try to do some flamingo poses. So, hands at heart center. Twist to the right. Your left leg is going to go bent behind you. And ultimately, the goal is to see how far you can stick it out behind you and hold it here. Now, it's a challenge of balance and strength, so don't feel like you're going to get on the first time you're trying it. And if you can only lift it up behind just to look like a flamingo, you did a good job. But ultimately, you want to try to be able to stick it out straight behind you. And just hold it. These strength holding poses are designed to make you fall out. So then forward fold, stand tall, and we're going to switch and do it on the other side. Twist to the left. You're going to bend your right knee behind you. Twist it out. And obviously one side is going to be more stable than the other. So don't be like, oh my gosh, I can do this one better, because nothing is like perfectly balanced in your body. Believe me, none is perfectly balanced in my body. So while you're holding this pose or you're trying it out, just remember, just in life, Nothing is going to be perfect. So when you expect perfection from something, you can expect failure, because perfection does not exist in this world. And we sometimes forget that in life, and we expect perfection. We expect perfection from everyone. We expect perfection from sometimes every aspect of our life, and we cannot necessarily guarantee perfection would be delivered. And if it's perfect, maybe it's an illusion. And, I tell you this because I expect perfection from myself every time that I try something, and it doesn't necessarily occur as perfect as I want it to be, depending what your definition of perfection is. So we're going to jump to the top of the mat, half lift, forward fold, stand tall, Samasthiti, and then I'm going to step my right leg out in front. My left leg is facing toward the side of my mat. My right leg is facing toward the front. I'm going to go into a triangle pose. So I'm going to tilt my right hand down, my left hand toward the sky, gaze follows. So when we expect perfection in life, we expect that results will be delivered when we want them. We'll get the results that we want, and it's not necessarily the case. So prepare yourself to accept that sometimes things are beyond control, and perfection can be one of them. Perfection is something that you probably will continue to work with most of life, because you may expect that the results will be perfect, but it doesn't always work that way. So we're going to stand tall, going to twist our left foot to the back, our right front foot to the side, and we're going to do the triangle pose on the left side. Lift your right hand toward the sky, gaze follows. You should feel it in your side body, and make sure you don't dump all your weight into your left hand, and it can be free, and you just stand in this pose for a moment. So when we talk about perfection, remember that what makes us all so unique, and everything unique in this world, is the imperfection. There's imperfect beauty in everything, and when we accept that we're not going to get everything exactly how we desire, we realize that we can focus more in the present on the things that really matter in the present moment. And we leave behind those ridiculous kind of expectations in life. You're going to lift your left hand up. You're going to twist it toward the right, twist a triangle, and gaze follows towards your right hand. So you're going to feel a little weird. You're going to shorten your stance if you're going to have to bend one of your legs too much. You want to have like a little bend or a little give, but if you have to bend it too much, you want to make sure that you shorten the stance. So now we're holding it up here. Now we're going to stand tall. We're going to do it on the other side. So you're going to cross your right hand over. Twist it, left hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And you're going to hold it here. And then I'm going to go into a forward fold. You don't have to if you don't want to. It'll just feel good to stretch out either side. And then I'm going to go back to a forward fold, stand tall, Samasthiti. And from here, I'm really going to stretch out my legs. So I'm going to do a half bound lotus. So you're going to lift your right leg up. You're going to tuck it in between the crevice of your left thigh. You can some people can reach around and grab their foot, or you can lean completely forward into a forward fold. So we're going to get this stretch in between. Stretch on the back of this leg, stretch here, and you're just going to feel it. It's going to feel amazing. People forget how much their inner thighs hold stress and tension, and these poses are so great for releasing that. and you're holding it here. And then we're going to get up. You're going to lift your right leg out in front for a moment, hold it up, and then set it down. And we're going to do these poses on the other side. So you're going to lift your left leg up to the crevice, forward fold. And again, if you can bind your foot, feel free. And then you're going to hold it here for a moment. This transfers new blood to that area, and it's so purposeful. Then we're going to lift it up, do the same thing, lift your left leg out in front, set it down. And then from here, we're going to go to a forward fold. You can do a vinyasa if you want, or just go to downward dog. So from here, we're going to step through to go to a seat. And from here, we're going to do bridge pose or wheel and some ab work. So if you want to start out in this position, however you feel is good, what your body is craving, feel free to go ahead and do that. So I'm laying on my back, and while I'm laying here, just got like really bright, you're gonna push your feet into the ground and lift your back. And this is so great for you if you're sitting all day at a desk and you need to stretch your lower back, because tension can build up here and lactic acid and everything, and you really want to keep the blood flowing. I mean, it's one of the painful things about sitting at a desk all day is you need to get up and move, or sometimes you need to get up and stand to get your blood back flowing. And we're just going to keep holding it here for this pose. If your stomach sinks, lift it back up, raise it up. And then release. So from here, I'm going to go into a wheel pose. So you're going to press your feet firmly behind you, lift it up, and you can just do a bridge pose if you would rather. And you're going to hold it here. And then release. And then I'm back into a bridge pose. Lift your stomach up if you can. Lift your heels up and make it your one last final push in this pose. And then from here, I'm just going to lift my feet up just to feel the blood moving. And then from here, I'm going to do some candlestick moves to work on my ab work. So I'm going to go here. You're going to lift your legs up, twist them in a circle. We're going to go clockwise. And then I'm going to do it on my side so you can see, even though it's super bright. And so basically, you're sitting a little elevated, and then you're twisting your body. So candlestick is like you're working on your lower abs, and you're circling your feet. Actually, it might be better this way, but I don't know if I'm going to hit the chair. But hopefully you could see from the other one. All right, and then just relax for a moment. And then sit up. And from here, we're going to go into a half deer pose. So your left leg is bent in, your left leg over here is bent out behind you. And you're just going to lean forward. I'm going to lean this forward so you can see. You're going to lean forward over whatever area in your body is craving it, to be honest. So while you're leaning forward, your body's not going to want to chill out at first, but just give it like a moment and eventually it will get into the pose. Or it will redirect you to the area that it's craving the most in your thighs. So these yin postures are so important for bringing our breath work down, focusing on the part of the body that's craving it, and just really stretching those areas out that needed it and holding the long pose. It's the medicine. And I always say you need to sit still for these poses to set your practice in. It's just like how effective is running going to be if you don't stretch? Because you're missing out on a lot of the extra outside work that you need to put in before running. And you can be more effective with running if you incorporate stretching in it or yoga. Just like a lot of athletes take a lot of different sports and stuff to make them multidimensional. Just doing the extra work goes the extra mile to make you that more productive in the end. And just truly focusing on your breath work and your mind makes a difference in real life. So what yoga does is it prepares you, and that's why it's called a practice, because it's ongoing. And things can change in life, and so can what your body needs. And it just all depends on what you need in that moment at that time. So be intentional, be truthful, and be mindful of what your body wants, because your body wants what it wants because it needs it. So from here, just going to stretch our legs out real quick just to feel the blood flow back in. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to tuck your right leg toward the left and your left leg behind you. You're going to lean over and really feel this pose. And like I said, each side is going to be different when you do these poses in yoga. So it might take a little bit longer for this part to set in your body. And then whenever you're ready, you can sit up, stretch your legs back out in front. And then I'm going to do a different type of pose. I've done this before on my thing. It's broken wing. So basically you stretch out whatever side you're working on. I'm working on my right. You're going to stretch that arm out and then twist over it. And then use your left leg like a kickstand. And it's really going to like cut off the blood flow on the right arm. And you're going to feel like some weird sensation, but it really helps restore new blood to that shoulder and that arm. It's so purposeful. And just so you know, this type of work, just a reminder, it doesn't work that fast. So you got to give it time. So if it's your first time doing the pose, just be mindful that it's going to take a moment. It's going to feel different. Be patient with your body. Just like it's important to be patient with yourself. And sometimes we need that alone time. Sometimes we need to be alone in our thoughts to be able to figure out what the hell's going on. And we don't often give ourselves that much time in today's society. But I say to purposely make time for that. Make time for that intention and that purpose and figure it out. All right, so I'm going to roll over. My arm is going to like be tingly and stuff, and then I'm going to do it on the last final side. And like I said, each side feels different, so give your body time to adjust to this side. So I did kind of injure this side like the other day or earlier this week, and I'm pretty sure I did it on dolphin pose. And so it was one of those things where I had to like sit my head up to roll around in bed at night to switch to another side because it was so tight I couldn't lift it. So I did something to my shoulder and my upper back, but yeah, it's slowly restoring. It's feeling better. Just got to give yourself time sometimes. And these poses are so good for your body when you restore and welcome new blood flow into it. So, whenever you're ready or you feel like it's time and you just can't hold the pose anymore, roll over and then restore the blood flow to your arm. I'm just going to go into a child's pose. Close your practice out with what your intention was, and remember to focus on the intent that there's no perfect or there is no perfection in life, and that we all strive for perfection, but we can't expect perfection because that's what makes every situation, everything unique and different. Namaste. Hope you have a great day.